Bang! Neeves knives. I'm Jared. My lovely wife Kara is busy, and today I am going to go through these 4 cold steel knives and pick out my least favorite to my favorite one. Now, I've been kind of handling these and checking them out and using them a little bit and trying to compare them, because there's one for sure I know which one I like more than the other, but then there's a couple that, like these two right here. I was really trying to pick, like, which one do I like more? So, there was just a lot of variables that I was really going through in my head, like, which ones do I like more? So let me go through the names of these. So this is the Cold Steel Recon One, which is definitely the biggest out of these. This is the Code 4 in, oh, I forgot to say the steel, I'm sorry, in CTS, it's blurry, CTS XHP, CTS XHP, Cold Steel Code 4, clip point. They do have 3 different blade versions for this. Then we have the American Lawman by Cold Steel. These are all Cold Steels, by the way. And if it will come up, S35VN. And then we have the Ultimate Hunter, also in CTS XHP. And it seems that Cold Steel does a good job with their CTS XHP. So, I haven't reviewed any of these yet. Well, I've reviewed this back in the past, but it wasn't this version. So, I'm obviously going to do reviews on all these. But, which one out of all these is my least favorite? Let me just say this right off the bat. I like them all. I think all these knives are absolutely amazing. I'm not the biggest backlock fan, but I do like them. So I understand the triad lock, as being such a strong locking mechanism that's why I love it, right? But I also like to make sure that it's a one-handed backlocking system. Then, it definitely moves it up on the list for me on backlocks. I'm not really into the whole backlock, like this kind of backlock where you got to get it down there and then fold it like that. I'm not the biggest fan of those. Not that I don't like them, it's just my least favorite lock. So, which one's my least favorite out of all these? That would be the Recon One. And, there's a couple reasons why. One, I'm not the biggest clip point fan. Not the biggest. Not saying that this one's a bad version, because it's actually a pretty good version. I do like clip points. I'm just not the biggest fan. Like, if I was going to pick out my favorite blade shape or pick out my blade shape, it wouldn't be in my top 2. But I do still like them, and I do like them especially on fixed blades and stuff like that. And also certain versions of them I like better than others. Like this one's pretty good to me because the tip doesn't come up too high. I don't like the ones that go up real high like that, because I find it harder to be able to use the tip when, I'm using a knife. I want to be able to get to my tip. Now, this version is really cool. And I do like it a lot. And I like the fact that I can get right up here with my middle finger and cover this choil area and get good push cuts. It's a very strong build. The ergos are just fantastic. But out of these knives, it just happens to be my least favorite. Now, these two right here. So, like I said, I was really having an argument in my mind of which one out of these two I like better. So then I took it to use, right? So I started cutting stuff off. And because the American Lawman has good, good ergos. It does feel good in the hand. But this one is better in the hand. But then I was thinking, well, this one has a little bit better grind than this one. And I like the blade shape just a little bit better than this one. So I was, holding it in my hand and really feeling it. And, this hump right here, it kind of gets in the way. because like when I'm back here, like I'm almost coming off. Like it's close. I can get a good grip, but it feels like this part of my finger is gonna come around this. So I tend to have to hold it up a little bit higher, you know, which this hump tends to push me back down. But then if I go like this, I lock in. Great for push cuts, great for all kinds of cutting. But this little hump kind of gets in the way. So, but the action is fantastic. I do like this thing a lot. It's very smooth. I love the thought of the strongest locking mechanism, especially when you're going to be using a work knife. And the G10 on this thing is super grippy, so it really grips your hand. However, when I was using the two, I think the coating, because both the edges were decent. This had a little bit better edge, and this has a little bit better blade geometry. So you'd think this one would cut a little bit better. Let's look at the blade stock thickness. I think the Ultimate Hunter has a little, maybe they're about even, but it is a little thicker behind the edge. It feels like, maybe not, but either way, my point is that this one seemed to cut just a tiny bit better. Now, that could be boiling down to leverage. So, leverage, when you have good ergos and you have a good palm-filling knife, it seems to pass through materials a little bit easier because you have a good grip and it's not shifting in your hand. That little tiny bit of shifting you get in your hand tends to make a knife not cut as good as if you do have a good grip. And the ergos of this thing are just amazing. I mean, this is a great knife. And this is a knife I never, ever, not in a million years. Every time I've seen this knife, I always, nah, not for me. Not for me. I would have, if you would have asked me, just looking at a picture, which one I like more, hands down this one. Now that I get them in hand, this one. This thing is so great in the hand. And it is a little thick behind the edge. I'm not going to say it's not. You do get a great choil area. The tip is better on this knife, on the American Lawman, but just something about this one. The action I find is a little bit better. This one is, it works really good. I do like the action, but I find that it's a little lazier with the thumb flick. Now, obviously, you can always give it the thwack, but this one I can really smack up with the action. I can get them nice and close to the blade. Great ergo, CTS HP. I like that steel, and you see the edge that Timbo put on it, because these are all Timbo's knives. Timbo sent these to me to check out. I can't thank him enough. He's been supporting me since we were just a little itty bitty channel. So thank you to Timbo. What an awesome guy. So this is going to be 3. Now between these two. Now which one has better action? They're both great. Let's look at the thumb studs. They're basically the same thumb stud. Basically, this one, pretty much the same. They're both have great action for a backlock, the exact type of action I like to see from a backlock, because I just don't like the backlocks that when you go like this, it just stops. You got to overcome the strength of the backlock. This one I can get a good thwack from, and I can even middle finger flick. This one, same thing. So with the action category, I kind of got to give it to both of them. So they're about the same. But I'll say this, the better action out of all of these are these two. This one's still okay, but this one's really not that bad. You can get it, but you got to overpass this hump. Man, that's a good sounding lock. Let's try the slow roll. I don't know, they're pretty much all about equal. This one's probably the least best slow roll. This one's probably the best slow roll than this one. But, yeah. These two definitely have the best action, hands down. Okay, so, about the ergos. This one, I don't know if it's obvious to you or not, but it's not as good as this one with the ergos. The ergos are just that much better. But I like this blade shape better and the grind. Now you're going to say, you just said clip points aren't your favorite, but they come in drop point versions. And even this clip point, it's nice and thin behind the edge. And I like this clip point even better than this one. This clip point I like a little bit better. This one has a finer tip, which I do like on my clip points, but this one has such a nice, tall, hollow grind. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, between the ergos and the blade grind and blade shape, now this one is still in CTS XHP, so they both have the same steel. This one's going to definitely be harder use. So, if you're going to ask me which one I'd use for harder use, I don't think it really matter, to be honest, but I would want to use this one. And the reason why is because of the ergos. It's just, man, this thing is great in the hand. But for all around carry, use, and work, I mean, this is a fantastic cold steel. It is close. I'll say that. I do like them both. And I know the majority of people out there would pick these over this one, most likely. And next week, I might too. I haven't had these that long. But just going off of what I feel now, this one would be third. And then this one would be my favorite. Now, granted, I am a huge advocate for good ergos. I like good ergos. And this one has good ergos, but it is thin. This is not sharp, but it's not comfortable either. Like if I squeeze it like this, it's okay. It's not bad, but you know, it does, you know, it's thin. That's the thing. It's thin. But in another sense, that makes it for easy carry. And, you know, just light, you know, a little bit, I don't know about lighter weight. Yeah, I guess it's a little lighter, but, you know, it makes it easier to carry, I guess. And for EDC use, this is still going to be great. Now, for long-term use, this one's definitely going to, it's not going to cut as good as this one, but the ergos will make it feel better in the hand. So, but I still got to say, the Code 4, as of right now, is my favorite cold steel knife. Look forward to these reviews because you'll get a lot more information that you did not get out of this. And like I said, I'm not saying that I don't like these two knives. I love these two knives. You know, but it's just one knife you're gonna like better than another. That's just the way it goes. So there you guys go. 4 cold steels from least favorite to favorite. Peace.